if you're not suspicious at this point, I don't know what to say. I mean, because you're just basically ignoring what's right in front of your eyes. Okay, Epstein. Obviously, Trump promised to release. At least he hinted that he would release these Epstein files when he ran for president in 2024. Understand that when Epstein was in prison, he was in prison during Trump's administration. When he died under suspicious circumstances, it was during Trump's administration. And Trump had the opportunity to release the Epstein files in 2020. And he chose not to do so. But why is it so important? Let's talk about this.
Of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Now, as part of our investigation, we spoke to Ari Ben-Mashani, who is a former Israeli spy. He said on the record unequivocally that Jeffrey Epstein was working for Israeli intelligence operations, the Mossad, and running a classic honey trap operation. That is, lure people inside, record their activities and learn about their peccadillos and use it to blackmail them. This is a former spy on the record in the new book, Epstein, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Interestingly, this person was also the handler of Jeffrey Epstein's best friend and ex-girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell.
I didn't know that.
She was said to have been one of the women who helped procure the underage girls for Epstein. She has denied that. But her father was Robert Maxwell, a media and press baron who owned the Mirror News Group in England and also the New York Daily News. He was a former Mossad agent, and according to my source, Ari Ben-Mashari, the business that Robert Maxwell had was turned over to Jeffrey Epstein almost in a switch before Robert Maxwell died in mysterious circumstances off the back of a boat in 1991.
Well, this is my...
But did he? It's interesting how people allegedly involved in these operations had that type of end. Did they find a body? Was it anyway? I'm not going to get into all that, but that woman is actually in prison right now in relation to this whole situation. But of course, Trump was sort of questioned about this in 2024 when he ran for president for the second time. And let's look at one of his responses.
But a lot of big people went to that island. But fortunately, I was not one of them.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Probably will be, by the way. Probably.
So if you were able to...
Probably. Interesting.
Yeah, certainly take a look at it. Now, Kennedy's interesting because it's so many years ago. You know, they do that for danger, too, because, you know, it endangers certain people, et cetera, et cetera. So Kennedy is very different from the Epstein thing. But, yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
Inclined, no
but
problem
a lot
with
of
it.
big...
Inclined, had no problem with it. He has to take a look at it. It's interesting. All these dodgy responses, man. All these dodgy responses. I'm just thinking...
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list.
That's J.D. Vance, of course, talking about the matter earlier, of course. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say now. I mean, be really interesting. But, of course, there was a press conference after the DOJ announced that, hey, you know what, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. And, of course, Caroline had to fill the questions.
Caroline, the DOJ and FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who say they want anyone involved in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes to be held accountable?
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable, and I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration. And the Trump administration is committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the President's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic and it happened.
They keep bringing that up over and over again. Oh, we didn't release this material because it's graphic and we want to protect the children. You want to protect the children, but you won't actually go after the bad guys. And why are you talking about the last administration? Oh, the last administration we're doing a better job than the last administration. That's not the question. That's not the question. We want to know, why are you saying there's no client list? I mean, that's what we want to know. Let's get more into this press conference. It gets worse.
Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 violent criminals.
What the hell does this have to do with what we're talking about? They're committed to stopping violent crime. They're committed to stopping people who aren't rich and powerful. That's what it looks like to me.
That's a 62% increase from the same time period last year. So this Attorney General and the FBI Director are committed to putting bad people behind bars where they belong. That they promised an exhaustive...
Unless... they happen to be on the wrong list. It is like, no. Let's look at what Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, actually said. Here's the real interaction. Maybe she misspoke. Maybe she really did mean what I don't know.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Nope. Didn't see nothing. Are you going to release those files? Is that true? It's sitting on my desk. But she didn't see anything. Okay, all right. And that leads us up to this completely disastrous press conference where somebody asked Trump straight up, or asked Bondi straight up, and Trump just stepped in it. I mean, if you're not asking questions by now, then I'm starting to wonder. Not just about him.
Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the set?
Yeah, sure. Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. We're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things.
Deflection.
And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That
Creep?
is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question.
You want to waste time? Talk about the thing that everybody...
Like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened.
More deflection. Do you want to talk about this guy at a time like this creep? What do you mean? You mean like that creep? The guy you were hanging out with at one point? That guy? Anyway, yeah.
In Texas, it just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Desecration?
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that.
That's what she
Also,
meant.
to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day.
Who the hell is asking for that? And nobody's interested in seeing the photos of the victims. We want to know about the perpetrators. And they keep using that same talking point.
To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior
Wait, was it definitive but not conclusive? What the hell?
to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every year, every night, they redo that video. It was old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night.
Wait a minute. How? And you mean to tell me in the year 2019 they had a video system that had a minute gap, a minute you just lose every single day? Every single day? Every single day. A minute. In the year 2019. I worked in jails, not a lot. I'm just one in Kentucky. Kind of. I went there. I wasn't an employee, but I went there a lot. It's a contractor or whatever. And, you know, I had an internship where I went to jail pretty much every day in Michigan. So anyway, I was always in the jail, rode with the police. Anyway, and that was back in 2005. I mean, I would have been stunned to learn that. Oh, you mean to tell me you guys have a video camera system that loses a minute at the exact same time every single day? I mean, that's weird. I didn't have access to the video camera system, but I did see what was. I'm just blown away that that's the type of system they had. What type of system is that? Because I don't know if you can sell a home security system in 2019 where you will lose a minute every single day. That would be a blind spot. Like, would that even sell in a residential market? You mean to tell me this was going on in jail? And even if that was true, you mean to tell me there's a minute where there's going to be a blind spot? You know, if you're going to commit a heinous crime, wouldn't you just do it during that minute? I mean, and the videotape, and we're going to talk about that in a second, it doesn't even show his actual cell. So that press conference was a complete disaster. This is a creep. This is Donald Trump hanging out with this guy he refers to as a creep. And that's Epstein's number one woman, his sidekick, his Robin, if Batman and Robin were bad people.
Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did.
We've seen enough of this. Again, the creep. Trump with his creep. Anyway, let's talk about the sale. Here's looks like the missing minute. By the way, he's not even in here. Anyway, here's Epstein being escorted towards the cell. The video evidence doesn't even capture the cell. You mean to tell me this high-profile guy is in jail under surveillance, but the camera's supposed to be on his cell or whatever, just malfunctions, and that's all you can get, and the guy just happens to die? By the way, this is a cell, alleged cell in which he was found. I just want to put this out here. Like, who is he protecting? Is he protecting a loved one? Is he protecting his family member? Is he protecting a donor? Did he make a deal? Or did he take these Epstein files and he's going to try to use them to use it as leverage against the so-called bad guys? Or is he protecting himself? I'm not making that claim. Elon Musk made that claim that Trump's on the Epstein client list. I'm not making that claim, but he made that claim. And the more we see from this guy, Trump, the worse it looks. So I'm just putting out what I see. You guys share your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And don't forget the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. Absolutely pathetic.